Hey, I'm Alistair from Trail & Kale, and today I am reviewing the Inov-8 Parklaw G280. Now that's Inov-8's latest door-to-trail shoe, and this is a pretty exciting shoe. I haven't tried an Inov-8 shoe for a couple of years now, so I wanted to see how they've actually developed the shoes over those 2 years, and it looks like they've been going in the right direction. Okay, so let's first address the G280 in the run. So firstly, G stands for graphene, and that is what Inov-8 is using in their midsole foam, but also in their outsole. So graphene is a material that's much more durable than other foams or other rubbers that many other brands will be using in their running shoes. So that's great because it means your outsole, your tread and your grip in these shoes is going to be tougher, and it's going to last for longer as well. And the 280 stands for the weight of the shoe, so that's 280 grams and 9.8 ounces for the American audience. So it's a mid-weight shoe, I'd say. It feels very lightweight. When you look at it and when you feel how much cushioning is in the shoe, it feels lighter than it looks. They also run like a light shoe, so if you're going on a long run, you don't feel the weight of the shoe over time. And that's probably down to the comfort and the secure locking system of the lacing system here in the upper. So the Parklaw G280 has a drop of 8mm from the heel to the toe. So that's pretty standard for trail shoes. I see a lot going a bit lower than that, but to be honest, this feels good for this shoe design. There's tons of flex in the shoe, so you can see me literally just pulling that in every direction, and that's actually quite incredible. I haven't noticed that until I just did that test, but that probably explains why it rides and runs over trails so well, maybe big rocks and roots like that, because it does flex so much. So that's really awesome. Looking at the outsole, you can see there are loads and loads of lugs on here. They are at a 4mm depth, and because it's made out of graphene, it is super grippy. I haven't experienced a shoe quite this grippy in a long time, so right now this is the grippiest shoe I am running in, and I love it for it. If you're wondering how many lugs there are on this outsole, there are actually 98 according to Inov-8. I haven't counted it because I've got better things to do with my time. So the tongue here is really padded. There's tons of cushioning in there. And I have actually noticed that you do need to do these laces up pretty tightly to lock your forefoot in place when you're going down the hills. I did notice a bit of slip going down to the front of a shoe, a little bit like the On Cloud Vista that I recently reviewed. Link up there now if you want to go check that out. But what I found on the On Cloud Vista is there wasn't really enough adjustability for me to fix the issue. But the G280, the Parklaw here, I was able to tighten these laces up further. It does take a little bit of work to do that, but once you're set, you're all locked in, and then I started really enjoying the downhills a lot more with these shoes. So yes, I had to do them tighter than usual, but actually there's so much padding in the tongue that it doesn't matter. I don't feel any pressure points coming from the laces on top of my feet. So the adjustability is very good in this shoe and comfortable as well when you're at its tightest. There's a finger loop at the back if you need to pull these shoes on. That's really nice. It's not a huge loop, so if you were running in these shoes in the winter and wearing gloves, you would definitely struggle to get your finger in there to actually scoop it on your foot. This seems to be a very breathable shoe when I'm running in it. It does have quite a thick upper, and there's kind of 2 layers of upper. You'll find a much softer layer inside, so it kind of feels nice on top of your toes, on top of your foot inside, but you've got a much durable upper on the outside of a shoe, which is what you want, and then the shoes will last longer. There's a nice kind of a plasticky rubber toe cap or bumper at the front here. So if I scratch it, hopefully that'll give you an idea of the material. Now you might think that is rigid and solid, but actually there is flex to it. So it will protect your toes if you stub them on a root or big rock or anything like that on the trails. But it's not rigid, so do be careful with that. Maybe Inov-8 has kind of put this in here to increase the durability of the front of the shoes so no tears happen. I can see it protecting your feet a little bit, but not hugely if you were to seriously stub your toe on that. But it's better than most trail running shoes, to be honest, so that's cool. There's a good amount of energy return in the G-Fly midsole. So that's the midsole with some graphene built into it. So what graphene is intended to do here is give it more energy return for longer. So because it's more durable, the shoe will take much longer to compress and lose its bounciness and responsiveness effectively. So that's nice to know you've got graphene in the midsole as well as the outsole. So the history of the Park Claw is that it is a door-to-trail shoe, so you can safely run from your front door or back door to get to the trail, meaning it runs really well on concrete or asphalt, pavements, any kind of really hard surface. It runs just as well on those surfaces as it does on most trails. So whether it's forest trails, hard packed, buffed, solid, rocky kind of trails, these shoes are great because the grip is insane on here. I haven't tried them in the wet yet because I'm up here in California and I probably missed the last of the rain until the end of the year. So if it does rain, I'll get out in these shoes and I'll let you know how to get on with the wet conditions. But to be honest, these lugs have 4mm of traction underneath them, and they're made of graphene, so I'm pretty sure these will do really well in the wet as well. And Inov-8 is a British company, so they know what to do when it comes to wet weather and muddy conditions. So I trust Inov-8 here to have done a great job on traction when it comes to wet conditions on the trails. This Park Claw G280 review is very much complimentary review to my in-depth review on trailandkale.com. Follow the link up there to go check that out. That shows more stats about the shoe and more thoughts on how I've been getting on running with them. Definitely go check that out. There's more pictures, there's pictures in there that show you the details of the shoes, and you kind of get a good idea of the materials from those photos. So definitely go check that out. And after you've checked that out, go have a look at my best trail running shoes buyer's guide on trailandkale.com as well. I've listed all my favorite trail running shoes on there. It is my job to test and try out trail running shoes and review them. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to a good trail shoe and what a bad one is. So generally I won't review bad gear on Trail and Kale. It's not worth my time and it's not worth your time. So we review only the best gear on trailandkale.com, and we have a scale from there that I've kind of normalized in terms of ratings of my shoes. So it's all good gear on trailandkale.com, but there's varying levels of how good that gear is. So definitely go check out the reviews on there, and that will give you an idea of what I'm liking at the moment and what is worth your money. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this Park Claw G280 review, this shoe from Inov-8. I hope it's kind of helped you decide whether or not you might actually want to give it a go, try this out on the trails. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like and share it with a friend if you think your friend is going to enjoy this shoe as well. And consider subscribing to our channel for more trail running shoe reviews and outdoor gear reviews all the time. So can't wait to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.